is to know, referring to Sikshastakam verse 3. That's why Mahaprabhu said the principle of respecting others. He spoke about that in Sikshastakam because this quality is foundation for our spiritual life. All right. So then, so today I want to talk about Sikshastakam, verse 3. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi saishnuna amanena manadena kirtaneya sadahari. So, Lord Kapila is telling Mother Devahuti that one has to respect all living entities in order to get the favor of the Supreme Lord. Right? Because all of us are part and parcel of the Lord and we're children of Krishna. So Krishna doesn't want to see any of his children getting disrespected, isn't it? So that's the point. So then I was striking a parallel with Trinadapi Sunichana because that's the most important verse. It has to be properly understood for us to progress in our spiritual life. So that is the context, Balaram Prabhu. It makes sense?
Yeah.
So the topic, Prabhu, as you asked, is, we can say, respecting all living entities.
Okay, got it.
Anurag Prabhu and Nitya Gauranga Prabhu, are you okay with this?
Yes, I have just one question. Why the non-living entity and how we define living?
Living entity is nothing but a spirit soul, Atma, actually. And when it comes to material world, depending on the desire and depending on the karma or depending on their what do you say, what they think at the time of death, a living entity gets a particular body. So the Atma enters the body to try to satisfy the desires they developed from the previous life. So when we say living entity, it's Atma within the body in the material world. But living entity refers to spirit soul.
So I think Anurag Prabhu is asking. Yeah, I think Anurag Prabhu is asking, why only living entity? Why not living entity? Why not non-living entities also? Why should we not respect the non-living entities? Is that your question, right?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So, well, of course, we relate with non-living entity also. We don't misuse Krishna's energy like water. You don't misuse Krishna's money, Lakshmi, right? We don't. Of course, it applies to everything. Respect comes. So respect means what? Everything comes from Krishna only, right? In the sense like aham sarvasya. Sorry.
Yeah.
Aham sarvasya prabhu matta.
Aham sarvasya. Yes.
Iti matva bhajanti mam bhuda bhavasmanta.
Exactly. Aham sarvasya prabho mata sarvam pravartate. Krishna very clearly says, and everything, living entities or non-living entities, all, I mean, objects, all are Krishna's energy only. So we have to respect everything, value everything, and respect everything also in our life. So here, Lord Kapila is talking about the living entity in this particular verse, right? Because it's very easy for us, because we interact with so many people in our life day-to-day basis, and how do we behave with them? How do we interact with them? It's very important, right? So that's why the respect is. So another point I was thinking about is this: the principle of respecting others is spoken in Shastras, or emphasized in Shastras very much, because it's a very crucial thing. Because in Kali Yuga, the respect is really diminishing, basically. Right? We all want to be. Let me go step by step. So that's why it is a very, very important quality. So Mahaprabhu gave this instruction in Sikshastakam 3. As I said, Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi saishnuna, amanena manadena, kirtanaya sadari. Meaning, you can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. One should or one can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. Only in that state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord consistently. So that's the purpose translation of that particular verse. Here, we can see Lord Chaitanya gives 4 qualities by which one can chant the holy name properly. Meaning, Kirtanaya Sada Hari. Hari can be glorified constantly or in a proper mindset or proper attitude only when you have these 4 qualities. In other ways, in other words. So conditions for always glorifying Krishna is given in this verse. So the 4 conditions. First condition is one should be humble. Second condition is one should be tolerant or tolerate the inconveniences caused by the material world. Could be people, it could be situations, circumstances, you name it. Third is one should not expect respect from others. And fourth is one should give respect to all living beings. Again, this point ties back to the verse I was talking about, 329:34. So, sense of getting respect is the indication of our identification with our body. If you think about it, right? Hey, I am a CEO, so you have to respect me. I am, maybe I'm a household, head of the household, so you have to respect me. I'm a temple president, you have to respect me. So when we identify with our body, then the sense of respect comes. So then this verse is a very, very, instructive verse in many angles of vision. But sense of getting respect is opposite of humility. So that means manadena means give respect to others. So this means devotees should always respect other living entities. So these conditions are inherent in the process of bhakti. That's what Mahaprabhu is talking about. The conditions, the 4 conditions I just talked about. Right? So we accept the bhakti process. Then we accept the Lord as our master and we are below him as servants. Make sense to you? So that's what bhakti is. The foundational, the quality or the condition of bhakti is you accept the supremacy of the Supreme Lord and you take you are a servant of him. So you are meant to love and serve him. So that's what bhakti is all about. That's what devotional service. So that's the Prabhupada translates bhakti as devotional service. So service means we are serving. That means we are putting ourselves in the lesser position compared to the Lord. So bhakti by definition is to serve, not to be served. So therefore, humility is naturally there in bhakti. Make sense? So that's why if you do not even have that humility, that means you are not practicing bhakti. So it is naturally there. So that's what devotional service, Prabhupada translated like that. So service means you are serving or not, you are not served. So that means I am servant of Krishna. This sentiment that I am servant of Krishna should be very prominent in our bhakti practice. So let me stop here and see if there are any thoughts so far.
Okay. Okay. You want to, then if you want, I can share one thought which came to mind. I'm just putting some notes also based on what you're saying. So I was thinking that the sense of getting respect is an indication that I'm identifying with the body. I'm a CEO, I'm the head of this and I'm that, whatever, different things like that. So I was just thinking that one way to, when you gave that example, I was thinking that basically identifying with the body, and particularly when you say it, basically the identification that you gave in terms of the examples becomes like the identification with the body means identification with the designation, which means identification with the upadhi. I'm a CEO, I'm this, or I'm that, is some upadhi that I have got. Right? Some designation, correct, which is a temporary designation. It's a particular designation that I have got. Right? I am elder to this, I am that, like some temporary designation is there. And so that is why the definition of bhakti itself is sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tattvaratvena nirmala. I was thinking, as you were saying, that's a definition, foundational quality of bhakti is that sense of getting, that we are offering respect. We are not accepting, we're not expecting, let's say, the respect, which means the definition of bhakti itself is I do not work based on that particular upadhi. I only work based on the ultimate position or definition of myself, which is that Ainand Tanuja Kinkaram. Like I'm servant of the Lord, and in fact, the servant of the servant of the servant. That's one thing which.
Yes, exactly. That's a very good point, right?
Yeah,
So,
because
that
is the problem. I'm always thinking in terms of so the definition has to include that. Otherwise, it's a. Right. So it's a simple thing to practically remember then, because I am constantly, what does it mean? I'm identifying with the body. Sometimes it becomes a little theoretical thing. But the practical aspect of that is I'm identifying with the designation. But I just need to identify with the designation at the soul level. Soul level, I am not a CEO. Soul level, I am a.
Right.
What is the designation of the soul? That is the main
Correct.
thing.
So, and also if you see, that's one of the foundational teaching of Krishna to Arjuna also. Arjuna was confused about his functional identities. Okay, I am a Kshatriya, so I have Kshatriya dharma to perform, which is to establish dharma. Yes. I am also a Kuru Nandana, actually. My family dharma is there. So, as a family of Kuru, in the dynasty of Kuru, then I have to protect my dynasty. Then what should I do? Then Krishna said, okay, well, you have functional identities. I agree with that. But you harmonize that. You should not forget your fundamental identity, which is your spirit soul. You are meant to love and serve the Lord. So that is the highest dharma, basically.
Yeah.
So your servant of Krishna is the highest identity. So all other functional identities should harmonize with this principle.
And the reason it is the highest is because it is what really stays. It's something which doesn't change. We say that it's the highest because it's what is true. Because in the sense that it's what stays. That's why it's true.
Correct.
So other things, today I'm this, tomorrow I'm that. Today I'm that. So everything is that's a temporary, very temporary, ephemeral stage.
Correct. So let's be a little bit practical too, right? So we all, of course, we all are put into that kind of situation sometimes in our life also, like Arjuna. So which one I should do, right? We cannot forget our fundamental identity, which is I am servant of Krishna. That surpasses everything. So all other identities are there. Yes, we have to do different duties, but in harmony with our fundamental identity. I am servant of Krishna. So all other identities or duties comes with those identities should be performed to satisfy Vishnu only.
Yeah.
To satisfy Krishna. Then that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna also. If we have that thing properly established in our heart, that I am servant of Krishna, then we can perfectly harmonize the other identities that we have in our life.
Yeah.
So, so that's the point. So now coming back to this, I'm a servant of Krishna should be prominent in our bhakti practice, and because that's a fundamental principle. But we also see, this is a question asked when I was talking about this topic. One of the devotees asked me, but sometimes we see opposite, meaning devotee is superior to Krishna also. We see that in Vrindavan pastimes, especially Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, Krishna is scared of Mother Yashoda. So here it looks like Krishna is lower and Yashoda is higher. So where is the humility here on the part of Mother Yashoda? Right? So we are saying, but again, that the point is, I don't want to go very deep into that, but even in Vatsalya Bhav, there is a sense that I am servant of Krishna, never goes away.
Yeah.
Because Mother Yashoda always serves Krishna.
Yes, yes.
Right. So this sense I'm servant of Krishna is combined with the identity that I'm mother of Krishna or parent of Krishna. So that's what it is.
So
Therefore,
that's how I
Mother,
serve Krishna.
1 minute. The Mother Yashoda is sacrificing herself completely for Krishna, actually.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So that's that's how the pure devotees operate also.
Yeah. Yes.
Everything is meant to Krishna only, to serve Krishna. Yes,
So
Prabhu.
here, even though Mother has like identities here, right? One is her fundamental identity as mother of a son, right? Mother of fundamental identity is she is serving Krishna. She is a servant of Krishna. But her functional identity is in this scenario a mother of Krishna. So it is like she has to function as you are very nicely quoting that you have to harmonize your functional identity with your fundamental identity. So her functional identity is mother of Krishna, right? So she has to, as a mother, she needs to put Krishna in discipline, but at the same time, she should serve Krishna because her fundamental identity is she's a servant of Krishna. So she's
Correct.
very nicely harmonizing the both fundamental and functional identities. And yeah.
Exactly. So she sacrifices everything for Krishna's
She
service.
sacrifices Krishna.
Can I add a point here? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Basically, the way, even properly, if you think about it, basically, I think I remember in maybe one of Keshavan and Pravu's classes only, or somewhere, like that, essentially, the bhava which is there is see, every bhava, every rasa, including the previous one. So, Shanta rasa is that you consider you're overwhelmed with the greatness of God. Just, he's great, the Almighty, like that. You're overwhelmed with the greatness of God. And Dasya rasa is based on that fact of that he is great, he is the best, he is perfect. The fact that he is a perfect person. I always keep reminding myself that that's the thing which people generally miss, the point that he is the most best, he is the perfect. So, but the Shantarasa, they got that. The Asyarasa, they start acting based on that by serving him. And then based on that becomes the Sakya Rasa, in which they are serving, but they are serving in a way, their only mode is service only. But they now start acting, the intimacy of that increases, that they come at a level which is a friendly, equal. But the mode is Dasya only. Basically, what is working is actually Dasya only. Because what is working is a good friend is basically a servant only. He's serving. The whole thing is serving only, but it just becomes more intimate. So it comes to the equal level to only serve, nothing else. And then the Vatsalya even goes higher than that, but again, it's only on top of Sakya only to serve one. So the Dasya only remains basically. And that is why the respect and all of those things, they basically, in one sense, they are kind of included deep within. But would you say like a mother doesn't respect a child? She does. Or a father doesn't respect a child? He does. But their mode of, their love kind of, externally seems to have covered it. But the whole idea is service only. The service has only become more deeper. It's only become more deep. They have become a deeper servant of the child. The mother and father become a much deeper servant of the child than even a friend or than a servant. And then the Madhurya Bhav, they become even more intimate, right? But the rasa is Dasya rasa only, basically. So Mahaprabhu gave the higher rasas more stress, and you will see that in the other Vaishnava Sampradayas and all, not so much of a stress externally on that. But actually, in one sense, it is the primary rasa is das. That's why Prabhupada always kept saying, we are in das. Yes, servant, servant, servant. You know, and it will get revealed later on if you are in maybe any rasa like that. But the main point is, in that sense, doesn't matter because it's dasi only.
Right.
It is most
Okay,
beautiful.
so let's keep it high
respectful.
level. Let's not go very deep right now on the Bhava side. It's good. So
Yeah.
I want to stay focused on the verse.
Yes. Otherwise, we'll go deeper into that.
Yeah, and I just making the point because there is the opposite you see at the Nitya Siddha devotee level, pure devotees, right? Where Krishna takes the subservient role.
Yes.
Also, because of their the pure love, right? So that's the point. So anyway, coming back. So in the material world, thank you, Balramana Prabhu, for sharing that. Good point.
Yes.
The material world, we are conditioned to the opposite only, in the sense that, we don't want to be a servant. Though we say, Prabhuji, your servant, accept my humble obeisances, whatever. But it is at the end of the day, deep in the heart, we want to be a master. We want to take the place of Krishna if you want to be a master. So with this attitude, we cannot practice bhakti and we cannot chant the holy name according to Mahaprabhu. So these qualities, which is Trinadapi Sunichana, Tarorapi Saishuna, Manena Manadena. So these qualities are intrinsic to the practice of bhakti. So that's a very important point to understand, right? So that's why Mahaprabhu talks about the first point is Trinadapi Sunichena, in the sense of humility. So I was wondering, I was doing some research also, what is Acharya's commentary on this humility, because humility is a primary quality and other things, tolerance, respect, forgiveness, these are secondary qualities. The Acharyas say that. If we talk about respect, then we should talk about humility, because humility is the primary quality. If you have this, the humility, the primary quality of humility, which manifest as secondary qualities. So the secondary qualities are manifestation of the primary quality. Put it other way around. Put it simply, the humble person will always be respectful. You will always be forgiving. You will always be tolerant. If you take the opposite, if you're a proud person, will never display these qualities. Right? So that's why Mahaprabhu says that you have to be first a humble person. Then, of course, other qualities will automatically manifest, or you will have a conducive attitude to practice other things. If somebody makes a mistake, you tolerate that. You won't take offense. Or somebody committed an offense, grave offense, still you can forgive them. You know what I'm saying? So all these things comes only when you have this deep quality, that is humility. If that is not there, it is very difficult to practice the other qualities, which are very much important for chanting purely.
Yes.
So yes, Prabhu. So you want to say something?
No. Good. Beautiful. Very
And also, I was thinking, again, I'm relating to myself, right? I used to have a very superficial, again, still I have, but at least a little better after understanding the Acharya's commentary and trying to practice. We have a very superficial understanding of respecting others. So we tend to think that we respect people who are exemplary. If Guru comes, we respect them. Sannyasi comes, we respect. Or somebody very celebrity devotee, or things like that. So that's our natural, way of showing respect. As soon as we find some shortcomings, even in them, whether in Guru or a senior devotee or something like that, then we often say, how can I respect this person? Isn't it? Our respect goes down, actually. So the Mahaprabhu says, Amanena Manadena. So we are meant to respect all living entities, not just only Mahabhagavat devotee. Even if you find a fault in somebody, but still they deserve respect, because Krishna himself says, Piche Suduracharo, right? Even if there's a fault in my my devotee because of circumstantial reason or accidental reason, whatever. But if they stay focused in Krishna consciousness, they are still my devotee, saintly. If Krishna thinks like that, who are we to judge them?
Yes.
Make sense? So, so I'm just talking about myself, right? So I used to think like that. Oh, he's such a elevated sannyasi. Why is doing this? So I find the fault in them. Then my respect goes down. So we need to keep this in mind. Amanena manadena in all conditions. Who are we to judge them? If Krishna considers them saintly, then who are we? Right? And the great sannyasis in our movement, because of some, whatever weakness of heart, whatever it is, they fell down. But again, they are fixed in devotional service, right? They accepted the mistake and they repented for it. Then they practice bhakti so sincerely and contributing to Srila Prabhupada's movement. We should not lose respect for them. Krishna doesn't. Krishna considers them still his dear devotees. So that's a practical lesson for me actually, because I used to think when I heard about, oh, this sannyasi fell down or this person fell down, I used to think my respect used to go down. But now I'm thinking, no, they're still a devotee. They deserve full respect from us. And if you think deeply, I mean, very honestly speaking, why we are not able to respect everyone. Sometimes we respect only for like a very celebrity devotees, very famous, very powerful, blah, blah, blah. We respect them very easily, but not an ordinary devotee in the temple. Right? So thinking about this, but if you think deeply, we'll realize that it is due to a deeply rooted envy we have. When we are not able to respect other person because we think they have shortcomings, we establish our superiority by thinking that I don't have that shortcoming. The moment we have that thinking, we diminish the other person's value. So that's why we are not able to respect them. Make sense?
Yeah.
And due to this, we feel that, oh, I cannot respect this person. To me, this is one form of using others to show off how great you are, actually. So, but you have so many shortcomings, but you look at the other person's shortcoming and think that you are better than them subconsciously, and you lose their value to you. Value means I'm talking about the spiritual value, right? So, so that's a point I want to make. Just reflecting on my interactions with people when I lose respect for others. I'm just talking from my experience, right? And also, I was thinking that this is something I heard in one lecture. I could not remember. Just thinking about that, the culture of respect is the foundation for our bhakti, and the culture of disrespect is the foundation for sense gratification. I heard this. I took notes in one of my class notes. I take some important points. I forgot to put who the speaker was, but they beautifully said this culture of respect is a foundation for bhakti and spiritual culture. Culture of disrespect is a foundation for sense gratification. That means you are disrespecting somebody, or you're not able to disrespect, means you are practicing the culture of sense gratification. So then I was looking into this. Okay, what is sense gratification? Let us go to the foundation, right, and try to understand this. Shastra says, scripture says, sense gratification means we use others or anything for that matter for our enjoyment. Either in a gross way or in a subtle way. That's what we do. That's sense gratification. So where there is sense gratification, there we have a culture of disrespect. Because why? You are using them for your enjoyment. And this disrespect is because of our deeply rooted envy, because we want to enjoy like Krishna. So for that, we have to exploit people or exploit the circumstances or manipulate it for our enjoyment, either at the gross level or at the subtle level. So there is a disrespect is given when you are in that path of sense gratification, then the culture of disrespect is already established. I'll give a simple example, right? Eating meat. It means the meat eater is envious of the animal. He's eating. He thinks, I'll kill you. I eat you to satisfy my tongue. So there is a envy and hatred already there in the heart. Make sense? I'm just giving this example so that we can understand it. But if you think about why you are not able to respect other person, there will be this tendency of, to enjoy in some ways.
So I have one question with this example. Is it okay to interrupt?
No, yeah, of course, of course.
So when somebody kills an animal and eats, you say that they are distressed or they have the enviousness towards that animal. But in most cases here, the people, they don't even know that they are killing an animal. Somebody is killing. They are just getting this from the grocery stores and then just satisfying their tongue. They are completely ignoring the fact that in order to get that lump of flesh into their table, an animal has to be killed, it has to go through suffering. They're ignoring the facts. Is it due to ignorance or is it due to envy? I mean, I'm still not able to correlate how that envy is. It's only satisfying the tongue, right?
Yeah.
How are you correlating the envy to satisfying the tongue? So
at the bottom line, Prabhu, this is how I understood. Please correct me, any of you in the call. See, our original, the reason why we are in this material world, why we are not with Krishna is our envy towards the Lord only. I want to enjoy like you. Then Krishna said, okay, I'll send you to the high position in the material world to start with. You start as a Brahma, actually. Then you start to use your free will. I'm just going to the fundamental root, right? Then you start to misuse your free will, the free will to make choice, the freedom to make choice, whether you want to serve Krishna or you want to serve yourself. This is the decision you have to make. So even you are at the Brahma level, you make a choice to, yes, while serving the Lord as a creator, secondary creator, you also develop a desire to serve yourself because people respect you, people give you honor, they worship you as a supreme personality of Godhead within material world, as a Brahma, right? You get carried away by that and start to serve. Sorry?
Yeah. So the reason why I asked this question is because the same people who are eating meat, buying from the grocery store, show so much of love for their cats and dogs. It is also an animal. So on one hand, they are killing animals, and one hand they are showing so much respect, love, care for the animal. So it's when you say it is deep rooted is envy, I am not.
I'm coming there, Prabhuji. And that's what I'm trying to explain this from the root. So you want to serve yourself, then you start to glide down, and go all the way to whatever the form of life you are in. Okay. Assuming that you are in a form of life of a human being. So that original envy is manifested in this way, and you are in a human form of life with a desire to enjoy. Okay. So meat eating is one type of enjoyment. So now your question is, okay, I am many layers away from really killing the animal. I'm just going to the grocery store, get cut meat and eating, right? So there is a multiple layer the envy has. So the envy, because of the original envy come to material world, you are covered with ignorance. That is called avidya. Avidya means you start to identify yourself with the body only and your senses and mind. That's it. Okay. So that because of the envy, you get avidya, and because of avidya, you identify with your body and senses, and all your actions are meant to serve your senses and your mind only. In that way, deeply rooted envy is the cause of your ignorance. And as you get conditioned more and more and more in the material world due to different, multiple lifetimes of sense enjoyment, that layer is so thick. The conditioning is very, very, very thick. So you don't even question, am I causing suffering to an animal here? I'm eating their meat. But you accept other animals, like pet animals. Dog, oh, I won't eat dog meat. I won't eat cat meat. Why? Because you are keeping them as a pet so that you can control over them. You can show your impersonal love to them, and they reciprocate. They lick you, they bark at you, they wag their tails, blah, blah, blah. They give sense gratification to you. So you keep that animal. But the animal which you cannot reciprocate, they cannot reciprocate in this way, or you cannot connect with them or relate with them, you kill and eat them.
Exactly. I think you made the point very clear. In both the cases, I mean, when they are cutting an animal and eating, still they are lording over it.
That's a beautiful point.
And when they are showing the mercy, when they are showing their love towards the animal, still they are lording over it, because it is ultimately you are enjoying, not the
Exactly.
pet dog or cat. They are actually giving you the enjoyment. As long as the pet gives you the enjoyment, as long as the pet thinks you are the master and keeps providing that enjoyment, you will keep the pet. But the moment the pet is not giving the enjoyment, you will just trash it away.
You throw
That
them
means
away. It is
you
a
want to be the
materialistic love.
controller.
Exactly.
I think that now it connects.
Yes. Prabhu, people in some parts of the world, they eat dog meat.
Yes. Korea.
Right? That's what Shastra has a dog eater, a Nisheda group. Even in the Vedic culture, there are some segment of people who are outside of Vedic culture. They eat dog meat, pig meat, and all these things. Even now, we have people like that. Cat meat also Chinese eat. But Americans won't eat because it gives pleasure to them.
Yes. In other way. By keeping them as a pet, they get the pleasure in other way.
Right.
I have added a question here. If you guys can comment on that. I was thinking that is the idea of that I am the sense of disrespect, comes from the fact also that I'm actually, you said it was the foundation of sense gratification, and I was trying to relate to it is that the tendency, the idea that I am superior. Because disrespect means basically automatically should mean that I'm superior. And that's what means then now, because I'm superior, I want to enjoy on your expense. And that's basically sense gratification. So I was thinking that it's the idea that I'm superior. That point is there. So then if it is superior, is the idea that I'm feeling superior the same as the point that I am envious of that person? Is it
Correct?
You are relating it to the envy. I think they are similar, but I'm trying to get a correlation properly so that we can be, because in one sense, in my life, if I try to see, that point is there that I'm trying to feel superior. That I can see more clearly. The idea that I'm envious doesn't seem to be at the surface showing up as much as the point of feeling superior shows up.
Actually, both are related. I think.
They're about the same thing, but I'm trying to correlate it.
Yes. Actually, certainly they are connected. Maybe I'll share one thing and then probably see the moment if somebody wants to become little more superior than you, right? The envy surfaces out. Let's say you and I went to a party, right? Somebody is, they are giving you more respect. They are giving you more prasad, and then automatically I won't be. If I'm not a true friend, not a true well-wisher, I won't be feeling the same love that I had for you earlier, because since you are getting more, they are serving you more, right? They are treating you as superior to me. The envy in me shows up, right? The envious nature comes out. So they are closely connected. Yeah.
Correct. That's wonderful, Prabhu. So I heard this lecture by Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj Prabhu long ago. Again, I took these notes long ago, actually. So where Maharaj is saying, everyone has to ask this question that Maharaj said, I'm paraphrasing it. am I happy upon seeing the advancement of my peer devotees? Or do I envy them? Maharaj is talking about the attitude of a devotee. So the question is, am I happy to see others advancing? Or do I really envy them? So the point is a very important question to ask, because the first part says the right attitude, that you should be happy when you see somebody advance in bhakti. And the second part of the question, do I envy them? It's a wrong attitude. So if you see the pure devotees, they don't feel envied when others are glorified, or when others exhibit extraordinary talent, or when they accomplish something, great feat in the service of Guru and Krishna, right? They don't.
Yes,
They
very
don't.
good point. Very good point.
Right?
And actually, to test this is a litmus test for us also. Exactly.
Correct.
That means
Exactly.
if we are not happy when your close friends are advancing, then that means you are envious. There is an envy in you. That's a test.
It is an envy, right? It is a disrespect, because you may not show it out. So Maharaj was telling very beautifully, how do we come out of this? How do you develop a right attitude? Is that
Develop the
thinking,
right attitude. Yeah.
thinking that Krishna says very clearly in 10th chapter, right? When he talks about the vibhutis, opulences, he says, Paurusham Nishu, that I am the ability in man or woman, for example. So when somebody does great, or somebody, does some great service, it is Krishna only. So if we envying them means you are envying Krishna. So this is how the envy is deeply rooted in our heart. If we have the
Yes.
understanding that Krishna empowers them, Guru empowers them to do something great, then you appreciate them, you will also advance. But instead you feel envy, then that means you are really disrespecting the person, disrespecting Krishna. At the end, you are envying Krishna only. This is why we are here in the material world in the first place. All right, Maharaj made that beautiful point. So if we have that thinking that it is Krishna, it's Guru making them do, then we don't feel envy. You should not feel envious towards them. Instead, you should appreciate them.
Yeah.
Then Krishna will become happy with you.
Yeah.
This is the you were saying. So I started to see it like that. Sometimes it's tough, I want to admit. But if you see like that, it really helps me. Even in our temple also, some people are more talented, more intelligent, more amazing service preaching they do. I see them as, wow, how nicely is their Guru is empowering them. How nicely, Krishna is using his talent in his service. Then immediately that malicious thing goes away from our heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm continuing now. So then I was thinking about it. So that's even the society also contributes to the culture of respect or disrespect. So if you are, for example, I think I was talking to Gauranga Prabhu one day last year and asking about the culture, Indian culture and American culture. Prabhu was beautifully saying, in India, the people are really humble, but in America, I mean, he didn't say anything wrong, but just a point I'm making is that in America, everybody is, they have means to earn more money. They have a comforts, so they're pretty independent actually. So naturally, they are not humble in one sense. So that's why the point is, we see the materially opulent or wealthy societies have less culture of respect, because the material opulence is used only for their own enjoyment, sense gratification. Right? So
that's true, Prabhu. Yeah. I have heard this from a Prabhupada disciple. Sorry to interrupt. I want to share this. He is Adikarta Prabhu. So I heard from him only directly. He actually comes to me and then he says, you Indians are more humble. We Americans don't know what humility is. He's 74 years from 74 years old. He has told me like twice this statement. I mean, I'm just trying to add to what Gaurav said, but I'm directly hearing from an American. But he's been devotee for the last 50 years. And he's saying, we don't learn humility still, but Indians are built with that humility. You automatically have that. I mean,
Exactly.
yes.
That's why even in our temples, when we have this teens and youth class, it's not that they are naturally disrespectful, but it's not there. The culture of respect is not there in that, in their it's not in the culture, right? So the life is more materialistic. So my understanding is the life, the more materialistic the life is, proportionally the culture of respect will be diminished.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's an important point. So that's why we teach in our teens class and youth class. I made it a point. The culture of respect has to be taught to them. That is the first semester, first 6 months. How do you respect your parents? Starts there. And how do you respect the elders? How do you respect devotees? How do you respect your friends? How do you respect people below you? How do you respect the opposite gender? Right? So we need to teach them because the material opulent culture, they don't have that concept in the DNA. So that is also affecting. The reason I'm talking about that culture is that it is also affects our mind, mental function. The culture also affects you. And another point is the respect is very also closely related to God consciousness. If people are more God conscious, the more respect is there for other person and the nature. Because we accept the higher authorities. You know what I'm saying? So God is there for me. So there is a respect, whether they show it to everyone or not. At least that God conscious society has that respect in the culture. So the more God consciousness or Krishna consciousness declines, the respect declines as well with that. So that's why if sorry to say this, but I want some societies where completely communism or communist countries, they don't have the concept of God. So naturally, they don't show the respect that much prominently. So when I say respect, how I understood is that it's like we should understand and act, or in our words or thoughts and actions should reflect this, that we acknowledge and respect the individuality, or acknowledge the individuality of the people, the interest of the people, expectations, their capacity, their needs, their conveniences, their comforts, and deal with them accordingly. And that is what respect really means at the practical level. So if you see this, I was talking about this, the less God conscious societies, they may just show respect at some level, but not at every level. Make sense? They may just help their people or family, whatever, but when it comes to other country or other culture, they're not respectful. So that's where this encroachment comes, the hatred comes, the wars, and different kinds of, they show the disrespect to others. But when you are in that kind of a culture or society, you are naturally impacted or influenced by that. Make sense? So it's very important. So we have very conducive culture or environment to practice respect at every level, giving respect to others. And Srila Prabhupada says, I was doing research when I was preparing for this discussion with my congregation. Srila Prabhupada says in one of the purports in third canto, I don't remember which verse, Prabhupada says that true relationships should be based on respect only. Because if there is no respect, we are very easily we invite over familiarity, and we will take the other person lightly or cheaply or take them for granted, right? And even that happens between guru and disciple also. To me, I was thinking about this too. The over familiarity, at least to me, the over familiarity leads to over analysis. We start to analyze more about the person, their actions, their words, or whatever. Then we start to find faults. Even Guru also we do that. I think I was listening to Suttakirti Prabhu's memories of Srila Prabhupada once. Again, I'm not exactly narrating that incident, but just to make a point. One of the morning walks, Prabhu was walking very closely to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, "Don't come too close." So Suttakirti Prabhu understood it like this: it is for both physically and subtly. Don't come even. So see, that's the point, right? So we are conditioned souls, so we overanalyze when you come very close. So it's very important. So I'm going to stop here, Prabhuji. These are some of the thoughts about the respect and the way I understood.
Joy.
Joy.
Beautiful points and analysis of things.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Ramesh,
Can you repeat again, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhu.
Yes.
Satya-sara Das, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ramesh.
You are explaining very nicely. I have one true relationship based on what Prabhupada told, that I want to know in which purport.
Oh, in the canto, Prabhuji, I do not know which verse. Prabhupada said that true relationship should be based on respect only.
On respect. Okay. Yeah. Thank
Correct.
you. Thank you.
I'm very happy to share Ramesh Patel Prabhu, who has joined us, is a very dedicated, most wonderful devotee who is serving at the Bhaktivedanta Research Center. I'm actually seeking guidance of Prabhu and his shelter, literally, now for quite some time. And Prabhu is based here in Mumbai. And maybe some of us, were born in the year 1976. And Prabhu is now 76. In a 76-year-old body.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So we have a correlation there, actually.
Nice to meet you, Ramesh Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
That's our correlation in this particular year. That we have
I joined little late, Prabhu. I am sorry for that. That time, Satya-sara Das Prabhu, you were discussing about bhakti.
Right.
Bhakti. And I think so, you should tell more detail about bhakti. Because
Sure.
you have discussed hardly, I think so, 10 minutes only.
Right, Prabhuji. This is
In
basically
10 minutes, person like me cannot understand about bhakti more.
Right.
That is what I understood.
Yes, Prabhu. Nobody, I think so. We are all in the same boat. Maybe at some point, Balaram Lila Prabhu will instruct us to discuss bhakti. Today, the topic is it's impromptu, basically, pretty much. But I looked at my notes I took for my discussion in the temple. Definitely, in the future, we'll discuss more about bhakti.
Yes.
What devotees are here: Balaram Lila Prabhu, Nitya Gauranga Prabhu, Anurag Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Ramesh Prabhu. This is
Hare
Nitya
Krishna,
Gauranga Das.
Dandavat pranam to all of you.
For BRC, by the way. Ramesh Prabhu works morning till evening for BRC.
Wow.
On honorary basis.
Wow.
More than
Prabhu.
he is working. He joins like office every day straight. Right in the
Balaram
morning.
Lila Prabhu is, please don't glorify for
He is inspiring me. He is
our meeting is
giving me shelter like anything. So kindly, I just offer my pranams to Ramesh Prabhu, and I request all of you also to take the blessings from Ramesh Prabhu. If at this, Ramesh Prabhu actually was in the Cross Maidan Festival in 1971 at Chowpatty, where Prabhupada met His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. They saw Prabhupada first time. You know that Cross Maidan big festival, which was there, party. Ramesh Prabhu was also there.
It
Wow.
was near the church gate.
Near Churchgate, Mumbai.
Across
He was
Maidan.
there. And what a mercy of Prabhu, how he is following. I can't imagine 30 years from now what kind of energy or determination, not just physical, but just, how the determination to serve the Lord can be there. And doing so in today's topic of respect, in such a respectful way, although you're so senior in terms of experience in life, and even in terms of the dedication, but I'm learning a lot of things from Prabhu. We are working from morning, evening, lot of now very closely together. So.
Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful, Prabhu. It's a blessing to have you in the call, Ramesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I am doing all these things. That is what he is telling. I don't have much experience about this devotional service because I joined ISKCON from, you can say, 2010-11 only. So what he is telling, I am working very hard. That is the main reason, because I joined in this Prabhupada mission very lately, first of all. I am doing extra efforts to
catch up.
fulfill my waste of years. That is what I am
Yeah.
trying to do. I don't know I am right or wrong, but I am doing. But as per Prabhupada's instruction, I am trying to take some rest. Means health is first, then we can serve Prabhupada more and more. So I am sometime in that mode also.
That's very important, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, excuse me, I have another class here.
Sure.
Radha
Yeah,
Jivan Prabhu is giving a class, so I have come here. So I have to go. So I hope we can meet next week.
Sure, Prabhu. Next week we'll
So
meet.
that was pranam for everyone. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Satya-sara Prabhu, especially for giving a wonderful class.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Satya
Prabhu.
spoke very, very nicely. Really beautiful
Pranam.
way. Like that. If anybody wants to say, I think what we should do is let's share in the end, anyone and everyone to share about like what is the takeaway that we take, something that we can take away back with us, which will be, let's say one step further ahead in terms of our practice of this most wonderful.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to share any of that or any other
Yes,
comment?
Prabhu. Yeah, before I leave, I have to leave in 2-3 minutes. I want to share what I'm going to take home back. It's because the topic was regarding the respect. Yes, because everything in this material world is actually part and parcel of Krishna, whether it is a matter or whether it is a spirit. Since everything belongs to Krishna, we ought to respect everything, whether a soul is in a body or whether it's any matter, as Satya was saying, water or rocks, wood, soil, whatever it is. This is an energy of Krishna. We have to utilize in the service of Krishna with proper due respect. And the one more thing is, how do we identify whether we are not lording it over, but at least we are not having envy, but we are having a true love, true Ram and respect is the Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj point. What he said is, when you see your friends, relatives who are advancing spiritually, who are being glorified, then when you become happy, like as if when somebody glorifies you, how much happy you become. You have to become that much or even more than that happy when you see your friends are being glorified. So that shows that you truly love and truly respect them. You're not envious. There is no envy in your heart. So this is a take home point for people. Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
Prabhuji.
yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. So I will have to leave now. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much. Ramesh Prabhu, yourself, Anurag Prabhu?
Prabhu, for takeaway is this respect, what you people have discussed very nicely. I have one question about respect.
Yes.
When we are working in, I will give you example of yourself only. We are working in BRC. Then how I have to respect you? That I want to. Because you are initiated by Acharya. I am not initiated person. By age, I am senior to you. That is what you are always mentioning. But it doesn't mean that in devotional service, age is not important. That is what Srila Prabhupada has always told everybody. In so many lectures, he has explained this thing. So, as respect-wise, how we have to work in BRC, I want to know, or any other temples or any other type of services in a group or in some congregation, whatever you explained, or whatever you understand, that you tell me. Or Satya-sara
Satya-sara Prabhu is going to reply.
Yeah, I will take a stab. Then, of course, Balaram Prabhu will jump in.
No, you
So
go.
Prabhuji, it's a great question. And one verse comes to my mind in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
This is the verse we all should memorize. Like 4th canto, 11th
Which
chapter,
four?
13th
4,
verse.
11?
4,
4, 11?
4, 11,
13.
13. Wow.
So 13, 1, 3.
Okay.
Titikshaya karunaya maitraya chakila jantushu samatvena sarvatma bhagavan samprashidati. That's what the verse is. Meaning, the Lord is very satisfied with his devotees when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. That's the translation of Srila Prabhupada. So here I dissected this verse, so to speak, in 3 ways. In the sense, it was very clearly said, you greet other people with tolerance, mercy, and friendship and equality. So that means our superiors, we need to tolerate them because sometimes they are too high expectations from us. Sometimes they chastise us. So when that happens, you need to tolerate because they are superiors. Superiority comes by the advancement, somebody's advancement in bhakti, number 1 criteria. Number 2, age is one factor. Number 3, position in service. Somebody's a temple president or temple commander or a BRC president, whatever. That is a position given to them by higher authority. So they become superior in that particular scope of service, right? So we tolerate them. Second is our juniors, we should be empathetic to them, or compassionate to them, or sympathetic also. Okay, that means juniors, we enlighten them, encourage them, right, and provide environment for them to grow. So that is karunaya, meaning you understand, okay, they have shortcomings, or maybe they do not know. So I'll be very compassionate, kind to them, and teach them, encourage them when they do good job, or create the environment where they can really learn and grow. So that is juniors. When it comes to equals, where your peers and we show friendliness. So to the degree we are empathetic, to that degree we'll be respectful to others. This is the point acharyas make. The empathy, it's a very important point. If you're not able to empathize with others, you cannot be respectful to them. We'll be harsh to them, we'll be violent in action or in words, or we'll completely shut them down, and all those things, we hurt them. All these things comes because we don't have the empathy. So then Empathy has 3 levels also, in the sense, how do you show empathy to others? So in fact, in the corporate world, they teach us, but we can use it in our spiritual world also. That is, the first step in empathy is willingness to listen to other person first, instead of just jumping and just giving our conclusions or our opinions or judgments. Before that, okay, why don't you explain what happened? Tell me, I'll just listen now. Very full, rapt attention, just complete listening. Then the second level of empathy is willingness to feel what the other person is feeling or experiencing. It is a very important one. If you don't feel what they are experiencing, what they are feeling, you cannot be truly empathetic person. Right? So this then the third one is understanding the other person's behavior based on these two. You listen to what their side of story. You at least tried your best or understood how they feel or experiencing the situation. Then you try to understand their behavior based on that. So you got a perspective. Then we can go to the next level of how to help this person. So if we do that, then Krishna will be happy with us. So that's why this verse 4, 11, 13 I quoted talks about 3 levels of people: the superior to us, one who is equal to us, one who is junior to us. That's how I understood Prabhu.
Thank you.
Paramila Prabhu, please.
Yeah, amazing. The 3 points of empathy was so nice. Very nice.
They taught us in the executive coaching.
Very nice. I really liked it. Willingness to listen to others. Unless you start listening, you're not willing to listen. You can't be. Then you feel what they feel, and then you understand their behavior based on the above two, and then you go on helping. Very nicely. I remember this for a long. This is a good example of when you hear some of these things, you can harmoniously understand it from the Vedic perspective also.
All right, Prabhu.
So sometimes they just put in a particular way. It doesn't mean that it is not harmonious. The way we put things is a very important thing. So yeah, that's very, and it's very nice that you remember such verses of Bhagavatam.
Well, you are forced to remember when you are doing the service like this. So you have to first follow, then you can advise somebody.
I was very, let's say, impressed also and inspired also that you could immediately quote a verse of Bhagavatam and even memorize it. It seems like you memorized it. Isn't it, Prabhu?
Oh, I do not know many verses. Very few verses I know here and there.
So it takes time to
very nice. Immediately, because this is not a common verse. That means it shows that Prabhu is, studying and memorizing Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Bharam Prabhu, for encouraging me. But
it is true. I was like, wow, 4, 11, 13, and you remember the numbers. Like, it's very difficult to remember Bhagavatam numbers. Bhagavad Gita numbers.
Few verses you can easily remember, right? So I just know only few verses.
Very nice. I hope and
not a big
more and more, because this is absorption in the message of the Lord.
Yes, Prabhu. But it's a good question Ramesh Prabhu asked.
In this case, basically, Ramesh Prabhu, let's say, Ramesh Prabhu, you are now at this thing that you have to accept the risk. You have to accept it and you have to shower the blessing. That is your right position right now in the dealing that you are. So you just, if you are there, that is perfect. That is the general point. But that's not the general point. That's the point when you're talking about your seva in BRC. So you offer the blessings, and that is most wonderful. Definitely for me, your blessings are most important. I'm feeling that more and more every day. But in a general principle, as because you were asking that question, what we have heard in the lectures is that a devotee is, see Krishna, that verse which is Satya-sara Prabhu quoted is so nice, because it is saying, Itikshaya karunaya maitra chakhila jantushu Samatvena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati. So the main point towards the end comes is Bhagavan samprasidati. When all of this happens, Krishna becomes very satisfied. So what I have been trying to practice somewhat, and which I keep telling our Prabhu also, this Gopi acronym that we came up with, which what we learn so much from so many devotees, including Srila Prabhupada. If you see Srila Prabhupada's lectures, he is always extremely personal when he's talking about Krishna and about devotees also. But God is a person. Go personal intricately. So, Gopi. So here so main point is a devotee's life is primarily about one thing. What is going to make Krishna happy?
Yes.
That's it. This is it, it's like how they talk about the love songs in the movies. I only care about what will make you happy. There will be so many songs like that, na? I can't think of any particular song right now, but so many songs have the same point. What can I do to make you happy? Right? This is all. So even the material world, everybody can understand. That's how they try to show love and affection and all that. What will make you happy? And so the only thing which we have to do is do what will make Krishna happy. How do we know what will make Krishna happy? It's through what Krishna is saying. Here he is saying, Bhagavan Samprasidati. Bhagavan himself, Lord Kapil Dev, who is Bhagavan himself, is saying, this is what will make me happy. Right? Or Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also so many things. What will make me happy? So we are constantly thinking of what will make Krishna happy. It makes us so a simple thing. The whole life becomes very simple because you only have to understand what will make Krishna happy. That translates through Krishna's message. That translates to Krishna's devotees. What will make Krishna's devotees happy? What will make Guru happy, who is the primary representative of Krishna? What will make the acharyas happy? And all of that. So that all that we understand through Lord's message like that. And in response to this thing, the Krishna is very happy if everybody is respecting everybody else. Basically, that's his society. Won't the father be happy if, you are like the grandfather and you see in your home, your good wife is respecting your daughter-in-law is respecting, even the elder you can say is respecting in a way, or loving, caring, but it's the same idea is they're both serving. As I say, the other things are serving. But there may be different modes in which they may do that. Different ways in which they do. But the idea is that they are trying to serve and care, like that. The same mode is happening in the other. So you are happy if you see everybody in the family also, they are loving and respecting each other, like that. And go the complete opposite. Nobody respects or loves for anybody. Who want to stay in that family? So it's the worst situation to be in. So that's it. A devotee or a trying devotee just finds out any excuse, literally any excuse to respect another person and to love and care for them. So they will find out something by which, they want to respect the other person. And that's because that will make Krishna happy. That's it. So then this is spiritual world. Spiritual world means everybody is respecting everybody else.
We'll ask Ramesh Prabhu. But the beautiful points, Balaram Prabhu. I love your explanations. Prabhuji, in the interest of time, I also need to go to temple now.
Oh yeah, sure.
I definitely wanted next week the topic that you were discussing last week.
You're asking me? You're asking me?
Yes, I'm talking to you. That's a boost.
Krishna confidence.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, okay, we can do that. But your temple thing also. Tomorrow, next week, what will be the date? We'll see.
And Balaram Prabhu, after this, I want to talk to you on the phone. I need something quickly.
Yeah, sure. Next week is 29th, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Fine? Okay.
Take out time. I'll be in Kolkata. Both Ramesh Prabhu and I both will be in Kolkata.
You can do it from there. Okay. Anurag Prabhuji, any thoughts?
Anurag Prabhu.
Mostly covered. So
No, Anurag Prabhu, you have to share something. Don't go in that mode. You're gone into that mode nowadays. I think you are going into samadhi. Do your samadhi later.
Yes.
Work now. Prabhupada said work now, samadhi later. So speak now, samadhi later.
yeah, just pray to Krishna that give us energy to respect and do his make something. Give us energy to make him happy.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful prayer, Prabhuji.
Jai.
That's what it should be. Yeah.
That's a nice prayer. Very nice prayer.
Yeah, thank you. So, Balaramla Prabhu, can I call you?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Satya-sara Prabhu. Thank you so much. Last minute taking such a wonderful session.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hari
Sorry,
Bol, Ravi.
Prabhu. I was disconnected for a few times, few minutes.
Okay, Haribol.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
No problem.
Yeah.
Haribol, Dhanwad Prabhu. Boliye.
Thank you for encouraging me to speak today.
Very nice. So nice. I'm so happy. I can see you're speaking so often and also serving so deeply, and it shows up, Prabhu. It shows up. So that's how a devotee actually grows, and and I can see you're speaking and acting in such a nice way. Then I hope and pray to the Lord for your most shower their choices, blessings for your ever increasing growth in their service and relaying their message in such a nice way.
Thank you, Prabhu, for all your encouragement. Glories to all the Vaishnavas.
Yeah, Prabhu.
What I need some help before you sleep. I don't know if I'm very demanding. You shared some wonderful points about Gopal Krishna Maharaj that you heard from others.
Yes.
Like Amal Lila Prabhu
Yes.
or some other. Is it possible for you to write something like 1 or 2 paragraphs and send it to me? The glories of Maharaj.
Right now.
Okay.
Right now, you mean?
This evening I have to speak about Maharaj. I have a very slight interaction with him. So I'll speak from my own interaction with Ranjiteya Prabhu's house. I went and served him. But I also want to share my friend, the good friend Balaramla Prabhu shared these points that he heard others devotees about Maharaj, and these are the 2 points I want to share. That's something like that. Just 2 points, Prabhu. 2 important that you touch your heart. That you heard from others.
Oh, I'm just trying to see. Yeah, I just. See, I made this document. I thought at that time, but the document is there. I'm sharing with you right now. This document.
Okay.
It is not well structured. Very well structured, but it has a lot of things. But do you want me to also tell you quickly some of the? Do you want?
You can write and send it to me.
No, I have already written.
Oh, you written? Okay.
But it's just not very. The document I've shared with you, it's just not very, very well organized. That's not the case. It's not extremely well organized, but it is. You want me to tell any very quick points? I can tell you. Also.
I just opened it 1 minute ago.
I can tell you very quick points which I try to remember also.
Yes, please.
So that may help. So basically, one quick point is Amogila Prabhu made a very nice, amazing point. He said, Maharaj, actually the typical opulences which a devotee shows in devotional life is that they give very nice katha. Very nice katha means they say very charismatic katha. so many devotees do, right? Because people, because Prabhupada is empowered essentially. Prabhupada's words have empowered people, right? So all over ISKCON, so many people give really charismatic katha. Correct, na? And whether they may be very senior, whether they may be very all kinds of devotees, because Prabhupada has empowered people. And second thing is that people do very nice kirtan. People do very nice kirtan. Very amazing kirtan. So Mogla Prabhu said that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj didn't externally manifest either of these two opulences very strongly. But what did he manifest? I mean, you don't see Maharaj Kirtan of that kind, right? Like that, I'm just saying. You don't, So, what did he manifest? He manifested the opulence of Vaishnav Seva. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur has said that the Yuga Dharma of this age is Vaishnav Seva. Truly internally. Externally, you may say is Harinam Sankirtan. Huh?
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said.
Yes. He said that the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga is actually Vaishnav Seva. Although externally we will say that it's Harinam Sankirtan. But actually it's Vaishnav Seva.
Internally.
This is the secret. If you serve the devotee, that's it. You serve the devotee. You serve the devotee. So basically, that's what the people who served Prabhupada basically, they just really did miraculous things in this world, essentially. So, but obviously you serve the devotee will tell you, you also have to do Harinam Sankirtan. The devotee will tell you to do Harinam Sankirtan only. But the primary point is Harinam Sankirtan. Anyway, so what he was saying for Maharaj is that Maharaj, when he interacted with all he took care of the devotees like anything. Every interaction that we had, and that's what Sitaram Prabhu, one of his very senior disciples, also told me personally. He said, Maharaj had that unique quality that whoever would come, interact with Maharaj would make him feel that he's the most important person in the world. And I had that experience too also personally. So Maharaj, basically, even if he looks at you in a certain way, he interacts, there's so many things like that. It's amazing, how he would
feel what, Prabhu? Make you
feel the most important person in the world. He will really give so much care, personal care, attention, every single, his disciples, obviously, very deeply, but also anybody else I personally felt that way also. In my very mindful
personal
interaction.
care and what? Personal care?
No, I personally felt that way, I said. Just personal care, attention to anyone and everyone that he interacted with. So that's this is one very important thing. Maharaj, very dedicated, extremely, he was his complete, so most primary points, if you look at read his start, have you read you can read his 10 instructions. So that for me have become one of the most important, Mahavakya, basically. Okay. And so there you can see, as people said, Shrutakirti Prabhu also said, Maharaj is a Prabhupada man. People are Prabhupada men. Some people are Prabhupada men, some people are ISKCON men. They may strongly think that I'm Prabhupada man, but they don't think too much about ISKCON. Some people may think about ISKCON, but not so deeply think about Prabhupada. He said Prabhupada, he's known as Gopal Krishna Goswami, is Prabhupada man and ISKCON man. So in his 10 instructions, 9 of the instructions to his disciples, he's only talking about that how you need to serve ISKCON. Never leave ISKCON. First and foremost, think of yourself as members of ISKCON. Never fight with ISKCON. Resolve your differences internally in a Vaishnava way. Everything. Just read those 10 instructions. You'll be shocked to hear how much he gave. Maharaj gave his life, 50 years as a GBC he did, by the way. 50 years as a GBC. That's taking headache of the highest order, the responsibility of the highest order on yourself, you know. But he didn't. And the chairman of the Indian Bureau, which is the highest body in ISKCON, India. Because ISKCON India is one legal entity. ISKCON India is one legal entity, unlike ISKCON abroad, which are separate legal entities. Huh?
Prabhu, 1 minute. I want to, you're going a little fast. I want to understand. What did you say, ISKCON man and Prabhupada man? Can you explain that?
Chitakirti Prabhu said that some people are ISKCON men, some people are Prabhupada men. Prabhupada man. You know, they follow Prabhupada. But they may not really dedicate themselves to Prabhupada's body, which is ISKCON. And some people may think ISKCON, but not really connect deeply with being Prabhupada. But he is saying that he was deep within Prabhupada man and ISKCON man, both. So this was, that's what you see in his instructions. So he gave his life to actually keep ISKCON together and grow like anything. ISKCON India literally, Prabhupada made him ISKCON India GBC in mid 70s.
Probably 1 minute, I want to pause you and ask you this question. So when you say Prabhupada, you're ISKCON man, you're automatically Prabhupada man also, right? Why do you differentiate that like that?
I know,
Why
but some people may not deeply connect with Prabhupada. Maybe, you know, that may be less common, let's say, but maybe, you know, connecting with Srila Prabhupada as a person very deeply. Like, connect with Prabhupada
as Acharya.
As a
basically.
person very deeply, like, you know, as an individual, that person. And at the same time, connecting very deeply with Prabhupada's institution, which he called his body. Both. Especially more so, the problem is people say, oh, I connect with Prabhupada, but they do not connect with ISKCON in that deep way. That is probably the more common.
It's like as an institution, right?
Dedicate themselves, their life to ISKCON as an institution. And Maharaj showed that dedication to Prabhupada automatically means dedication to ISKCON. And he also writes that we should accept ISKCON's governing body commission as the ultimate management authority of ISKCON. And as Srila Prabhupada's representative, and to therefore follow its instructions and directions. This is his point 2 in his final instruction. So I could see that he made it very practical to follow life. He is saying, follow Prabhupada means follow ISKCON. And follow ISKCON means follow GBC. You can't say I'm following ISKCON, I don't follow GBC. Then it doesn't. So you have to follow all of these three because that is ISKCON is Prabhupada's body. So that's how, with that spirit, Maharaj basically gave his life as a chairman of ISKCON, and even till the end of his life, he stood as the chairman of ISKCON. And in fact, he gave his life on the battlefield literally, because he went to Dehradun to attend the meeting of the Bureau, ISKCON India Bureau, as the chairman. Although he had such
Okay, 1 minute. Maharaj served as GBC for 50 years in India, right?
Yes.
And what is the highest degree of, what did you say?
Highest degree, what's that? What's the highest degree? What did I say? Highest degree? Did I say highest degree?
Highest degree of headache, you said? Something you said.
Oh, headache. Yeah,
Management.
headache. Yeah, highest degree of headache, be a GBC. Being a GBC, what a headache is that, Prabhu?
Management responsibilities.
Oh, massive. Unbelievable amount of all the, let's say what is the right word for that? But all the sewage essentially just falls on you. Because you just, all the most toughest problems fall on the GBC, right?
But he performed it.
50 years as a GBC. He didn't give up till the last. He literally left his body on the battlefield, you can say. Because ISKCON India Bureau also, he went to attend the meeting So many people were telling him, they kept telling him, Maharaj, now you please stay in Vrindavan. Because he was taking care of Vrindavan also so much. You just stay, please, in Vrindavan. Because, now you can take it a little bit easy, slow, like that. Maharaj, they keep saying the Maharaj will only smile at them. He will just smile. He will just smile like that. That's it. So he was so dedicated to the mission that he, till the very end, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj said in his offering, he said that whatever responsibility Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj took, he took it for life. It's a very important point. Whatever responsibility he took it for life. And this is his main, what a learning is that, Prabhu? What a learning is that? Whatever responsibility he took for life.
Yeah, what a responsibility he took.
He took for life. In the service of the mission of Srila Prabhupada, he took for life. He never, ISKCON India Bureau Chairman till the last breath. GBC till the last breath. And so many other disciples, Guru guiding them till the last breath. So many Shiksha disciples and all guiding them till the last breath. So many temples, everything, all of these people. So maximum number of temples, by the way, he created in ISKCON. Maximum temples, maximum books, you can say, are getting distributed under Gopal Krishna Maharaj's care. Okay. And you could say just after His Holiness Japataka Swami Maharaj, maximum number of devotees who he gave shelter to. Maximum books, maximum temples, you can just say max disciples. What is Japataka Maharaj in terms of numbers? You can say like that, but like that. The practical, on the ground, complete dedication to result-oriented service. Offer the results. Like it is said that Prabhupada told that because Maharaj was taking care of GBC or BBT also, so Maharaj would only come to in front of Prabhupada. Prabhupada will say, Gopal is not coming to me. He's not coming. He's shy to come to me because he only comes to me when he has a new published book to offer. So let's say some translation in Hindi of Bhagavatam of one book, or some other book got published and printed, new book, like that, right? During Prabhupada's time. So he was in charge of BBT. So he will not come to Prabhupada unless he had a new book to offer to Prabhupada. So you go to Guru, not just I go to Guru, Hare Krishna, Pranam, Hari Hari Bol, He's going in front of Guru, in front of Srila Prabhupada to offer something. This is seva. We are Guru Sevak, not Guru Bhogi. And that's just what I took as a lesson. That Prabhupada recognized, he won't come in front of me. Unless he offers. Practical, result-oriented service is what is being offered by Maharaj. And he just is that beautiful example of Maharaj is basically, he really took the practical responsibility, and not just where he was the official leader, but even at the places where he may not be the official leader, but he took it on himself wherever he could to resolve the conflicts. Like the most toughest issues, whatever would be there, right? Maharaj will be there to somehow or other resolve, bring the unity, bring people together, make ISKCON. I mean, where was ISKCON India at that time? Hardly existed. After Prabhupada left, there was no ISKCON India devotees, hardly any. Maharaj was literally the first devotee in terms of I think he was like the first Indian kind of almost like, I don't know if it's the very first, but almost like the first Indian devotee, and especially a very well educated, working in Pepsi company as I think is a pretty at that young age at that time as a director or as a very high position marketing executive. Uh, at that time, he was in New York City. He was at a very high position. He had done his MBA from Paris, Maharaj. So, this, you see this like Satya-sara Prabhu and so many others. Now we see so many very well educated, intellectually sound Indians. But Maharaj was the first one like that. He was the first one, very well paid, very highly paid executive, studied in Paris on scholarship, went to America, again studied in Canada also, I think, and then worked in there. And was a grahastha and all that. So he was like the first one like that, in that way. So he was, but His Holiness Sadhana Swami Maharaj was saying in his offering that, and all around him were many, all Westerners, literally. And many of them actually were not even had coming from a very, very different culture also. Many from a hippie culture like that. And also many of them not very well educated also. But he said that Maharaj you never really hear His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj ever anytime saying anything which is in any way negative about any of them. You never hear that. You never hear that, right? That's a very important. He was always, he had all the reasons, no? He's well educated. He's really rich, sense he has an excellent job. He's Indian, rich, cultured family. He had all the reasons, in one sense too. But he was working for Prabhupada and Prabhupada's body, ISKCON, and he was always bringing together people. So and because there were hardly any Indians, and then he's the one who takes ISKCON India from being almost nothing to where it is. It's like such a shining, he has literally brought it to crowning glory. Temples opening everywhere, so many devotees, unlimited. Just what a glorious innings, as they say in cricket. What a glorious offering, as a person who hits a triple century, and this is my mundane example, as they walk out of the ground, they walk out in a way because, the innings does end in a way externally, but actually it doesn't end because Maharaj is now become, I really feel that way, a spiritual master of many more after he left the body. I personally felt that way. With my limited interaction and hearing all of these offerings to Maharaj, I felt that, I have more, I hope and pray to have more of his shelter as a spiritual master, more so after he has left the world. Then, as my spiritual master, my guide, what he has given by his glorious example, his glorious followers and disciples, his glorious temples, his glorious seva, all of that. He's become the spiritual master. I feel a lot of people felt that way. So even now, glorifications are happening. You are asking now, it's like, I think it's completely extraordinary how glorifications all over the world have been happening, unlimitedly, literally, So there are many more. There are many more, but it's really become for me personally, also intimately. I want to just keep remembering and knowing because we need to we need to offer such practical, dedicated seva to Guru, to ISKCON. Prabhupada Maharaj has given the instruction of ISKCON, GBC, make that, do that sacrifice, do that seva, do always be under other devotees. Maharaj gives that instruction also. Don't be independent. Don't take the easy way out, he exactly says. You know, be under senior devotees. Serve them. And that way you will be able to serve and, you know, like that. These examples of DT service, Mangal Aarti he is doing throughout his life. He comes very late in the night, still Mangal Aarti is doing in the altar. We kept seeing it all the time. He opened so many Govindas, but Gauranga Prabhu gives the offering. He never ate in Govindas. He was only eating the temple prasadam. He didn't eat in Govindas. He never left Delhi during the marathon, the December marathon, and inspiring people every single day during this marathon for book distribution. So these practical, simple things which Prabhupada said, book distribution, temples, this, everything was like Prabhupada said, ISKCON. Prabhupada actually, Devkinandan Prabhu gave an offering, which Maharaj would not reveal it. But Devkinandan Prabhu, he is a very senior leader in ISKCON India. He said that Prabhupada written a letter to him. Prabhupada told him, you know, I have many disciples. These Western disciples, they are helping me like anything. I am very grateful. They have helped me so much and they would help me. But just by their nature and by their culture, you know, in Western world, they keep changing things, correct now? That's the nature of the Western. He said they change home. Then he said they change wife. They change like that. That's what they change. But he said, I am requesting you, I said, instructing you, requesting you that you please stay. You please stay and you keep serving the mission and all that in, like I'm paraphrasing, but basically you please stay, because that letter is not, I don't know where that letter is, but he was staying in that offering. So Maharaj, you can see how he took the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. You never hear him disrespecting any based on whether they are Indian bodied, Western bodied, whatever. But Prabhupada gave him that specific instruction also that you keep things united. You stay, you take the movement forward. And he took that instruction. So because obviously Prabhupada would encourage his disciples in a very individual, personal way, right? Like that. So he's encouraging and instructing Maharaj to stay through anything and everything. And that's what Maharaj did his whole life. He stood through anything and everything, his various ups and downs, unimaginable ups and downs, and brought ISKCON India to where it is. It's and not just ISKCON India, Russia, East Africa, Kenya, so many other places. Actually, he was coming to Seattle also, we know, and all that. So many places across the world. It was not just India that he was part of. So that's another thing to remember. So there's so many, Prabhu. You can go on and on.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. So I think you gave me enough pointers, Prabhuji. I'll go through your document and whatever you said, I notes.
Almost 2 hours.
Gives me enough,
almost 2 hours.
Enough things to think about, meditate on. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Prabhuji. And also, you send me the spreadsheet. I'll take a look at it, and I will talk to Anurag Sharma. You wanted to talk about this money or something. I will talk to him. Then I will give you a plan how we are going to move the money.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. The ball is on my court.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Very. We are always in your court because you are the king of this entire exercise.
I am your servant.
The ball is in your court and we are in your court also. Both are.
I am servant of Balram Das.
That's a nice one. Everybody is in your court.
I know. My head is on your lotus feet. That's a statement.
Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.